Oklahoma heads into Tuscaloosa to take on the 8-1 Crimson Tide this weekend. We gotta talk about it. Good evening, and welcome back to Sooner Intel. I'm your host, Jason Watkins, along with my co-hosts from the Horns Down podcast, Mr. K. Chris Griffin, and from Sooners 360, Mr. Mason, Chris Mason. If you love college football, you know you're in the right place. So before you forget, smash that red subscriber button on all three channels, like our videos, and don't forget to ring the bell. You don't miss one moment. Sooners Intel. Gentlemen, week 12, Bama week. How we feeling?
Feel damn good, pretty damn good. Chris Mason, I was going to give you the floor, but if you want me to go, I'll go. Guys, not here to get your hopes up, not here to get you all riled up, but what I am here to do is to tell you, you have a great chance to go down there and win this weekend. It's not just the end of weeks. Chris Mason can tell you I've been watching Bama tape since last week. Guys, I feel like this is a good matchup. Obviously, we want our Mason. If our Mason can't go, it is what it is. We have by committee. We've seen them go out there and get it done. Granted, whatever people want to say, the national narratives about like Auburn, the Auburn team you're seeing now, obviously they have some more life, a little bit juice to them, but still, that Auburn team that we played was undefeated and had a lot of juice to them as well. So with that being said, you saw Taylor Wine, you saw a lot of those guys get out there. You've seen Danny Okoye last week. Danny Okoye has had moments, right? But at the same time, Marvin Jones Jr., there's other guys who are going to contribute on that D line that we're not even talking about right now. But guys, I'm telling you, I feel really good about this matchup. I know we'll get into details here in a second, but I feel like again, I whenever I'm in doubt, whenever the national media has me feeling in doubt about material, about stuff like that, I go and put on that South Carolina tape. I go and put on that second half of Tennessee, and I say, oh, okay, things are starting to come together. Things have come together. But again, this defense is going to lead us into there, and I think that's going to be a defense heavy game. But guys, I feel really good about this matchup. It's a different type of attack, but when I was watching Jeremy Bernard's little interview he did this weekend, you know, I forgot. Damn, they basically had almost all of these guys there last year. Now Milroe was there, and you can say what you want to say about Milroe, but I think Milroe was lighting up LSU the week before, and he looked like a complete quarterback. But again, coming here, there are certain things that they do not like to do, and it still shows up. And again, I will say this: when you watch the tape, we'll talk about this here in a second. But that Florida State game, that Florida State performance, it creeps in from time to time during each of, especially these past couple of weeks. But Jason, Chris Mason, I'm telling y'all, I feel pretty damn good about this matchup.
Well, I felt better before I saw the injury report tonight. Um, Gentry doubtful. R. Mason Thomas and Jaden Jackson both questionable. Kobe and Keontez Lewis probable. So, can we get this done? Sure. Would I prefer not to be down four defensive starters essentially? Yeah, probably. It's it's interesting because I do think there's a lot of like, well, look what they did against Tennessee is kind of the big narrative on the pro Bama side. I even heard Josh Pate was like, well, they'll hit some of the stuff that they didn't hit against LSU. I'm like, okay, well, that's not much of an analysis. And he made the strange analysis that, well, Bama won't run the ball against OU very well, but they don't need to do it. And I'm like, all we hear from almost every TV guy prior to that is that, you got to run the football. If you can't run the football, you can't be successful. So Pate's analysis, I felt like, was more, he's gung-ho on Bama winning the title, Bama being the national champion. He's sticking with his preseason pick and all that. So I kind of feel like that's really kind of driving why he's picking that. Because when you look at the odds, I mean 6.5. I think it's down to 5.5 on some sites. I mean that's basically means that OU's within a field goal of these guys. And I watched I watched part of the LSU game. I can't say I watched all of it. Obviously I watched their match with Georgia back and forth, and Georgia kind of gave that away a little bit with some bad play calling by Bobo, if you ask me. But the game I watched sort of back to front was the Vandy game, and I'm having a hard time not seeing OU as mobile as Vandy is at quarterback. Robinson's more of a bigger running threat than the Vandy running back, who's very tough and good, but he's sort of like a bowling ball. Robinson's a bigger guy and seems quicker. And there's just no comparison between our athletes on defense and Vandy's. I mean, our front four, our pressure packages, and our pass rush versus Vandy's pass rush. You can just look at the stats. All of the analytics out there tell you that it's no different. That there's a big difference between Vandy's defense and OU's defense. Yeah. So I think if OU can, and you look at the Vandy game, the Pavia 2 red zone turnovers was what really flipped that game around. So when I see all that, I see a path to an OU win. I see Robinson with like 125, 130, and I see Mateer going for like 80 or 100 on the ground, and I see OU putting some yardage, keeping their defense fresh for pass rushing, and grinding Bama down a little bit. That they're not the physical team Saban had. They're a little UW finesse like.
So can I jump in here real quick, Jason, before you go? So yeah, just to jump off of just to piggyback off what Chris Mason is saying, it's not just the Vandy game. You got to go and look at the South Carolina game as well. There are times whenever the quarterbacks, it doesn't have to be designed for Mateer. He just has to be decisive with the ball. If he knows the coverage is pretty much locking up guys on the back end, he needs to be able to run, and he will have opportunities. He has to be smart with the ball. Obviously, run the ball against these guys. I think on offense, obviously the Pierre guy, but also the Hubbard guy, they like to come down from time to time. But I think for me, I think that you make smart plays. You take what's there. I think Arbuckle will call that and do that. You just have to make – John Mateer has to be good up here this game as far as take what the defense gives you, move the chains, and go from there. On the defensive side of the ball, I think it is about pressure. He doesn't do well with pressure when there's actual pressure. You want to piggyback off of Vanderbilt. What I would also say, again, Chris Mason, it wasn't just Pavia. Yeah, there was turnovers, but there was a lack of a consistent pass rush. And Bama honestly hasn't faced a consistent pass rush all year. Maybe you can go back to the Florida State game when they were kind of bouncing off the walls, all jittery because it's the first game of the season. Go back to the LSU game. Georgia was able to get. They were hurrying him. Same with Tennessee. They hurried him, but a lot of teams, unfortunately, haven't been able to force Ty Simpson to do one thing, which I'm screaming for, which is to actually throw the ball on the run. When he's running any bootleg play, especially when he's under center and he's running any bootleg plays, any play action and stuff like that, he has all the time in the world to run 5 yards right, stop on a dime, have his feet planted, and throw on base, off base, not off platform, right? So he's not having to do that. This is a game where I say, hey, I'm not sure if he's going to necessarily have that time. I think that you need to blitz, you need to apply pressure, but you also need to rob on the back end because, again, those tight formations, what they love to do, they'll sneak a tight end, they'll sneak a running back out there from time to time. but they love to go to those tight bunch formations. They will occasionally go to a actual spread, but they love those bunch formations. You have to make sure you pick up whatever is over the middle and force him make those difficult throws to those corner routes where they're going to be contested. Also, last but not least, we know there are going to be some screens and different things like that. But the biggest thing for me, don't give them life in the run game by allowing Ty Simpson to leak out. No, he's not a fast guy. He's a willing runner, though. And we had a willing runner, which was Baker Mayfield, right? Not comparing him to Baker, not saying any of that, just saying that's how where you categorize those guys. Not guys that are going to burn you or do anything like that, but those are guys who are willing rushers, and he's somebody who can go pick up a first down. So you have to make sure that you do that. Biggest thing for me, third down efficiency on the defense side of the ball. Get off the field.
We're gonna talk about all of this at one time, I guess.
Go ahead.
Shit, spit it all out. Hey, obviously, you've got some significant, injuries going on here with R. Mason being questionable. I don't know, and the other one that kind of concerns me, I was pretty much expecting R. Mason to not play, and I don't know that why you even would bother with it. But Jaden Jackson being injured, I didn't know about this one, and so that's a bit concerning. Again, you got a lot of depth at both of those positions, but Gentry Williams being doubtful, you're kind of hoping that you'd have him in there to kind of chase these receivers around. I think you're right though. You're gonna have to make sure that you get off of the field on third down. The main things for Oklahoma are simple. Don't let them get healthy in the run game against you, which I don't see that really happening. And number two, don't get in third and short situations. Get off the field on third downs. Don't you play clean, and that's the biggest thing. Look, the defense for Oklahoma is got to do, it's got to do its job. But the other thing is don't turn the football over. I think as much as you expect the defense to do what it's supposed to do. Now, I think the biggest question mark is simple. Do we get John Mateer from the first 4 weeks of the season, or do we get John Mateer up until the second half of Tennessee? Which one do you get? And I think if you get the second half from Tennessee in the first 4 weeks, then you got a shot. If you get him from Texas, certainly from Texas or from the Ole Miss game, not good. You're not going to win like that. So don't turn the football over is the main thing. But I think, what, guys, I saw a stat and shout out to the No Faking Sports, I think is his name. He's an OU guy. He had a stat that that he looked up, and I didn't even realize this. Rushed the ball 40 times, all 5 games that Alabama has lost since Kalen DeBoer got there. 40 times rushing. They had 40 rushing attempts on them. Not even, it didn't even really matter what the rushing total was, but all 5 losses for Kalen DeBoer, the opposing team had 40 rushing attempts or more. So go get 40. Go get 40. That's the other thing, too. I think your running backs need to have 25 to 30 attempts anyway in this game. You're going to get 10 at least from Mateer. Go get your 40. Oh, by the way, he also threw out there OU when it has 40 or more, undefeated.
Yeah, I mean, if you have the football and you can grind Bama down a little bit, I think if Mateer is giving us like 80 yards rushing, and our 2 backs, I think we might see a little Blaylock, right? If you go up to 30 carries, get the ball out a little bit. If you have, and you get like 130 yards from the backs and 80 from Mateer, and you can get to 200, that magical 200-yard rushing number, that's kind of a winning number right there. That's a stat popper as Josh Pate, snaps the ball. I think, Jason's given us some the stats that just make sense. With our defense, if we can run the ball, Mateer we don't get any turnovers, and Mateer can, can scramble his way to keeping the ball on third down and picking up some first downs and keep us on the field. I like that as a strategy. So Ty Simpson has not committed many turnovers, but I'm pretty sure Aguilar hadn't committed any before the Tennessee game, right?
No, it's just not. It's, I mean, again, what pass rush is he facing? But one thing I would pivot to as far as Mateer, guys, let's not forget. I mean, it's not like Bama has been world beaters over the past couple of weeks. I saw Sooners Cowboys in here talking about we're going to have to score 30 plus to win. When have they scored 30 points in the last couple of games to actually beat a couple of these teams? It's been low 20s, mid 20s type of ordeals. Again, to your point, Jason, I get that the Texas game, maybe the Ole Miss game. If we get Mateer in the South Carolina game, who's just on time and making the correct plays and moving the ball, we're going to control time of possession and we're going to go out there and move the ball. Their corners are not going to come up. To me, I think their corners are really good whenever you're trying to go deep, whenever you're trying to do things like that, because they like those type of plays. They're very opportunistic on the back end. But when I watch them, I'm like, okay, are they going to be ready on a 3rd and 2, second and 4, stuff like that, whenever we're running our bench routes or zigzags, different things like that from the inside with the slot with Satania, even a Burks, if he can get lively, right? If Keontez is Lewis, he gives you that threat of he can sit down in the middle of the field, and on top of that, you can throw those back shoulder passes with him. And I think you can do that, a little bit. You try to do that with Giovanni Gibson as well. So I think there's plays out there to be had. You just have to go get them. I think that we don't need to be predictable or whatever. One thing I would love to do, and I think that you both would back me up on this, I would love to see Kanik get a little bit involved in the pass game. They are not good against covering the tight end. They are not at all. I've seen a bunch of teams be able to sprinkle that in, but they didn't stay with it. And I think that's where some of those offense coordinators got away from what was working. And then again, just the lack of pass rush. I mean, he's back there able to sit there, analyze. And even when he is hurt, he's still finding his guys over the middle because Jeremy Bernard is a big play waiting to happen, but he can turn into a possession receiver whenever he needs to. That's what's so dangerous about him, is that he can do it all.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're dead on. We need to get some. If we could get Canuck going, if Helms can both block and maybe find some space and be. We know he's a good receiver. I just think we're not sure what speed's left in those damaged legs, right? We know he can catch the ball. He's a good tight end. So from that perspective, he was based upon what we're seeing. So if we can see that, and maybe some 2 tight end stuff, and you sneak Kanik out and force Bama's linebackers to have to cover him a little bit, which I don't think they're capable really of doing. That's not what they really showed. But to your point, they have played 3 games, 3 big time games they've played. They scored 20, 29, 27, and 24. So they've only broke 30 against Tennessee and Vanderbilt, and some definite.
They haven't looked as good the last couple of games. That's for sure.
They scuffled through, and obviously the Tennessee game. That pick 6 on the goal line really flipped that game around. It really did.
Well, it did. But here's the other thing. The one thing is that's what they don't do, is turn the football over.
They have not been.
The ball over. So, the hope is that you can find a way to turn them over, and they obviously haven't faced a team like Oklahoma on the defensive side of the ball. I would tell you that I don't think that Oklahoma's played a secondary this good, aside from possibly maybe Texas. But this is the thing. You're going to have to go out there. You're going to have to find a way to win this turnover battle, and you certainly can't do it by making turnovers yourself. But I think, again, running the ball and not turning the football over is the main thing for Oklahoma. And I don't think that that's a lot to ask for. You can't, because the 2 games you've lost, you've had multiple mistakes in both of them. Considerable amount of mistakes. So go out there and play your game, but don't turn the football over. And
you have to win the turnover game, right? Or be 0, or be even.
Better be 0-0, or else you better be able to get them off the field on 3rd down for sure, if you're not going to turn them over. But you can't turn it over and expect to win. Go ahead.
No. You guys are spot on. For me, For me, I'm not coming in here really expecting turnovers. I'm coming in here expecting get off the field on third downs. Get off the field on third downs, run the rock, control the time of possession, and go on and do what you need to do. I think you can be deliberate. You can do all those things, and then when they will allow you to move the ball. It's whenever you get to it's just kind of like us. Once you get to that pretty much that 20-yard line, okay, that's when shit hits the fan because you're gonna have to call your best plays to score because it's really a bend but don't break type of mentality over there, and they tend to bend a lot. Okay. But the biggest thing is that, they're again, I not to even argue with you, Jason, I don't really consider their defensive secondary to be that great, but I do
Yeah,
consider
they're
them to
turning
be
the
very.
ball over is what I
Yeah,
was.
I was just about to say they're really opportunistic on the back
Yeah,
end. I've been saying that for the last week and a half. They're very opportunistic back there. Again, Hubbard will come down.
they have the number one pass defense in the SEC.
Yeah, Hubbard will come down and do just. I mean, he's sometimes just off. It's just like it's off the wall. Like you never know really where he's going. He'll come down, look like he's blitzing, and all of a sudden he's peeling back. Right. So they do some things back there that you're like, yeah, I like. They're opportunistic around there. And the other thing is you got to cover the ball because they love to punch out. If they were punching at Tennessee, they definitely try to punch. There is a bunch of peanuts back there, right? So they are trying to rip the ball out, get the ball out. And I know they're going to be physical. I know that crowd is going to be going early, but I think you just got to go out there offensively. You have to establish the run. You have to find a rhythm quickly. And then second off, you must get off the field on third down, or whatever. Force them to kick a field goal. Their kicker is very shaky. So there are opportunities out there to go win this game. The last three games, I'm tired of people saying that this game is the biggest game of Venable's career. His last three games are the biggest games of his career. Let's just be honest. You got a
Everyone,
chance to go make the
every one of
playoff.
them. If you win one, the next one is.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
And let's not move the goalposts either. I was talking to somebody who was like, well, the Tennessee win was one thing, but Bama's completely different. I'm like, before the Tennessee game, you gave them zero chance of winning. It's like, let's not move the goalposts here, guys, based upon the Tennessee win is huge. A win in Bama would be huge. There's no, it's we'll recognize that. We all know that, but let's not move the goalposts, and now denigrate Tennessee and say, well, that was Tennessee. Bama's something completely different. Let's not do that, right?
the only difference, and Sammy Challenge, a lot like the Tennessee game. There's differences though. There's differences for sure. They've
There
got a
are.
better defense than Tennessee for sure. They've got a better defense, and their quarterback doesn't turn the football over. I mean, 21-1. That's his ratio. Now, has he been up against the same defenses that Oklahoma has? No, but
Go ahead, Jason. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying he's been consistent throughout the year that he's not, even when they lost that first game, it wasn't because of Ty Simpson. You're gonna have to find a way to speed his clock up and get him to make some mistakes for sure.
One thing that I'll say, Jason, that I really this is my take on that. I still think that at the end of the day, that veer and shoot, that hyper runs, that Levy runs,
Yeah.
those are really explosive offenses. But not only because of that, but they're chess piece offenses as well on the back end. When things are clicking and they don't turn into just a slant and go type offense because everything else is not working for them, those offenses are very explosive. But the way they spread out the field, the way they keep you spread out, that is the interesting piece. But Bama doesn't do that a lot. They like to have tight formations. It's a lot of the same stuff that they did last year. And I think one thing that I will say that has not left this whole DeBoer era, if I had to say anything about their run game, for whatever reason, and don't get me wrong, they do it from time to time. So Bama fans, if you watch this, correct me if I'm wrong, but still, I don't know why they just don't commit to running off the tackles because they cannot run any inside game. We watched them against Jason, I think me and you even talked about it when they played Texas in that semifinal a couple years ago. They were just so determined to prove that they can run on Murphy and Sweat, and it was just like, dude, that's not working. Spread them out, throw the ball, throw over the top of their head. You have Penix. Penix is a really good quarterback, and
Yeah.
run off the damn tackle. That's all that you got to do. But they will not commit to that, and they do it time and time again. They've done it time and time again throughout the season. It has some success, but they've went away from it. But it's one of those things where they just get so damn stubborn with it that you're just like, okay, so this is a tendency. I think where they're going to try to get us.
Smook's
Okay,
trying to convince himself of why they're going to win.
I think that in their run game, what they're going to try to do is what's that Michigan play with Justin Haynes? Just try to catch us with some motion and get us misaligned to where that back safety, back corner, or whoever has that responsibility there to kind of cover that up is not there, and they catch you slipping with maybe somebody getting the hole either on the inside or kind of in the outside look just like that. I think that's probably going to be their best way to do that outside of Ty Simpson picking up key first downs with his legs whenever those alleys are there. But I just don't necessarily see that happening. That's just me.
Yeah. Smook, come on, really? Just as solid. You lead in turnover. We said that you guys are leading in turnover margin.
Yeah.
You got that right. I said that too. But it's the best. Oklahoma has the best defense in America. Period. End of story. You have a better offense. Got it. Cool. We're gonna see which side holds up therein better. That's what it's gonna be about. What can you which side can okay, we're giving up 30. Okay. We'll see. If we do, then maybe you win. If we do, maybe you win. But you think you're going to do that one? I mean, the thing is last year, the reason that Oklahoma was able to win last year because it was one-dimensional team. They're one-dimensional now. Alabama's still one-dimensional. That's the question. Why? How? What's to make anybody think that Alabama's still not one-dimensional when you're not running the football? I don't see how you're going to go big and get 30 points whenever he's going to be running for his dear life because you can't run the ball. I don't get it. I don't get it. Yeah, I don't know about all the refs on their side stuff. I think it's wild. I think that the refs are bad on both sides of every game, every football game. The SEC refs are bad. We already know that. I'm not going to go out there and I'm not going to put it on the refs, or I'm not going to make it about the refs before the game even starts, for damn sure. So I think it's a good football game, man. I think this is a tight football game. Whoever wins the turnover battle, whoever runs the ball better.
Special teams makes the fewest special teams mistakes.
Yeah.
Either team.
Period.
Yeah, either team, muffs a punt, fumbles a punt. That's huge.
Yeah.
Bad snap. I mean, we watched what was it? Iowa last week gave up, basically spotted Oregon points because they couldn't snap the ball to their punter twice. And that ended up being decisive in that game because that would have, without that safety, Oregon could have lost to Iowa. So there are things in play. If Bama misses a couple of field goals and Sandell keeps doing what he's doing, and OU is able to cash in some points on shorter drives because of some long field goals, and Bama isn't able to do that and make some fourth down calls they shouldn't make, which DeBoer is just as influenced like that as anybody else in college football these days. See lots of coaches gambling on fourth downs and kicking field goals. Brent doesn't have to do that. When he gets into scoring position, he can just bank the points. Yeah, that's been key. And that's been key.
That's what we talked about it last week or 2 weeks ago, and we've been talking about it this week too. I've been saying it. Look, when your defense is able to get a stop, and again, you got to get off of the field on third down. You can't give them freebies, anything like that, which we've seen stupid stuff like that. But the main thing is when the defense puts you in good field position, whether it's a turnover or not, you need to pay it off with points every time. You can't go 3 and out. Look, that's the great news about having this kicker. 18 in a row. He bangs them from 50. It doesn't matter. That lets you know that it's a good situation to be in. But again, it's pretty simple to me. Win the turnover battle. Don't turn it, or at least go even with them. Don't turn it over, and if they don't turn it over, and you should have a good opportunity. In the end, I think that you're gonna have to flip one of those things that are like if you're Oklahoma, you're gonna have to flip their advantages. And if you're Bama, you're gonna need to flip the advantages that Oklahoma has. I think it's pretty simple. Okay. Shit, man, I didn't even pop those damn things in there real quick. We'll go into the pick 5 from last week, or yeah, we'll do the.
You want to do picks first?
Well, no, we'll do the predictions. My fault.
Okay.
Find them.
While Jason's working on that, guys, if you didn't listen to my pod that I posted last night, if you didn't join our Q&A on Monday where we talk about recruiting is on a OU's on a recruiting heater. It's crazy out there. OU could potentially have 6 or 7 new kids visiting for the LSU game as part of the 26 class. And OU could have 4 more 27 commits by Christmas. And they're all big-time kids. It's going to be crazy. If you're not following both of those, either follow my Wednesday podcast. It's on YouTube. Go to Sooners 360, or find it on your podcast channel of choice, your audio channel of choice. Just search for Sooners 360. The show next week will be big, and the show before LSU will be big, and then we're going to roll right from LSU into signing day. Because signing day is going to be December 3rd, and OU could sign as many as 28 or 30 kids by the time signing day rolls around. That's the number of offers that are going on. That's the number of new kids they're bringing in. There's new names popping every day. It's kind of weird. It's kind of strange, as opposed to the last couple of cycles. Jim Nagy's finding guys he really likes based on their senior film. And for 2027 recruiting, Stacy Ford, the guy we hired from UCLA, keeps finding West Coast guys that want to go play at the westernmost SEC team. So he's finding guys left and right. We have a lot of recruiting news coming the next couple of weeks. I thought we'd been in a little bit of a dead period, but OU got a verbal last week. They've got a silent verbal right now. And we've had 4 predictions for OU probably in the last 7 days. So recruiting is heating up. If you're not part of our recruiting show on Monday night, or listening to my podcast on Wednesday, and if you're interested about the future of where OU is going, recruiting is heating up. OU is adding a lot of doing a great job at 27 and adding some very interesting pieces potentially for 2026.
Awesome.
All
right.
Hopefully I gave Jason enough time to get something.
No, you did. You did. I've been ready, but it's cool. It's cool. I'm glad you put that out there. Make sure you get over there and subscribe to Sooners 360, and you should go over there and for $2, you can't get a better deal for insider information when it comes to that kind of stuff. He does a great job. All right. Here we go with the game day predictions. Let's see. Let me make sure. Yeah. Oh, here we go. All right. So here we go. The Alabama game day predictions. We've all got X-Rob being the leading rusher for Oklahoma. Leading receiver, we've all got Isaiah Sategna. I don't think there's any surprises about that. Although, you know what, I almost did go with I almost did say Blaylock, because you never know, just that change of pace might be a difference. But I think that no matter what, you're going to have to feed both of those guys, and I think X-Rob's been running it fantastic. So it wouldn't surprise me if he did that. Will the Sooners pass for 300 yards? Nobody says yes. I think that you might hope that they do, but you hadn't seen it in a while, so you can't expect it. Will they have a 100-yard rusher? I think we all believe so. Okay, Chris, was it an easy decision for you to say yes on that one?
What on the 100-yard rusher?
Yeah,
Oh yes, yes for sure.
you
The
want to add?
question is, if OU's successful, do they have two guys who go over 100? Do they have Robinson and Mateer?
No, I think Mateer probably gets a mod somewhere between 40 or 60, but I would say that I think X Rob would be the one who will be bringing home.
I could see Mateer breaking off one big run in this game. Bama isn't as disciplined as they need to be, and Mateer breaks something big. But all right,
Hmm. I mean, that'd be good. That'd be good if you did have that, no doubt. Will you have 100-yard receiver? I said yes to this, but I gotta, Mr. Mason. What made you think that right away?
well, I mean, Satania is doing a good job getting open. I think Mateer is right in the 250 range passing the ball. And I think based upon everything we've seen from a trend line, that means Satania gets enough chances and gets enough passes and opportunities to get over 100 yards. I think you have like a 7 or 8 kind of catch game for like 100 yards.
Okay.
I mean, I do think if OU's running the ball well, then all of a sudden that makes gives Satania more chances in the passing game. We'll see how that chess match shakes out.
Well, he's definitely had a few games with it, and he's definitely the biggest threat. So I think that if you're running the ball well, it's much easier to throw the ball well too, right? I think that's clear.
Yeah, and everyone's blocking. I just think Satania is your best bet to take a short pass and maybe make something bigger out of it.
Yeah, Zach, it's easy to make these predictions like that, but it depends on which material you get. Bud. All right, let's see. Does OU score a defensive touchdown? You know what? I I think they're going to, man. I think you're going to get one here. And they haven't turned it over much, but I feel like if you get the type of pressure that you need to get, why not?
Yeah.
And I think it could be Kip Lewis again too. I've got him as my MVP, so that's definitely where I feel like defensive touchdown could happen. Um, Offensive play over 50 yards, I think so too. If you're running the ball well, they're one of the worst teams against the run. Uh, Certainly in the SEC, so you should be able to rush for a good amount. Um, is that where you were thinking? Are you thinking more run or pass, or what are you thinking there, okay, Chris?
I am. I'm actually thinking. I'm thinking a run. I do think that we'll get a couple of explosive passes from Mateer to move the ball in this game, and I think he'll be able to hit a Satania, hit a Burke, somebody like that, or especially like a Keontez Lewis, kind of over the middle, sitting for some explosive plays. But I think the 50-yard will probably come from a run. I think that we'll catch them. Guys, you got to remember it's funny to say. It's funny to say. Chris Mason's definitely gonna kill me for saying this, but I mean, Joe Judd is still on the staff, so I mean, you may pop him in a room and say, "Hey, are these the same looks that they gave you guys last year?" Well, we ran like crazy on them, but that's it.
Uh, oh Lord have
If
mercy.
sage advice from Joe John is our hope, there may not be hope. But all right,
There you go.
All right. So does OU hold Bama under 300 yards? None of us believe so. I think that they've been a team that you're probably gonna see them get some.
how about a silly stat today? If they do hold them under 300, I
It's a
don't I,
wrap.
I don't I don't see any
A
way they
wrap.
don't. I don't see any way OU doesn't win.
Yeah, it's a wrap if they hold them under 300
Yeah.
yards. I think if you hold them under 400 yards, you got a damn good chance. So
Yep.
defensive MVP, I said I got Kip Lewis. You guys got tell me the reasons why you got Stone and Wine.
I put Stone in there simply because I think that when Stoney is in there, and whoever's paired with him, Halton's going to be able to feed off of that. But I think Stoney and Jaden Jackson, I do expect Jaden Jackson to play. We'll see. I mean, I always wait on that Friday report. Regardless, though, I think that if Jaden Jackson plays, but definitely Stoney, they're going to be able to do something that not a lot of teams have been able to do, which is to force that center back, right? To push that center back and get in the middle. Ty Simpson loves to step up. If you're able to kind of be disruptive there, obviously in the run game, but if you're able to disrupt and actually apply pressure there in the middle, that right there is that could help as well, because he loves to step up whenever he's getting pressure from the edge. And if you're able to do that, then that's whenever things get a little bit dicey. Does he have lanes to run? Is he still confident in passing? And usually it's over the middle as a safety outlet. So that's why I picked Stone, because I think Stone is going to be really disruptive. May not necessarily be big on the stat sheet, but I think that he'll be disruptive right there in the middle and a force to deal with. Go ahead.
I went with Taylor Wine just because I think Bama's tackles are susceptible to speed and power.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Wine, I would have said, I mean, let's just be honest, guys. If our Mason Thomas was completely healthy, I'd have picked our Mason Thomas. But he's not, so the next guy next guy up is probably Taylor Wine. I almost thought about doing like a wild thing and saying, Danny Okoye if RMT doesn't play at all, and that Danny could speed his way past the big Bama tackles and like flash, grow up grow up over a football game, something like that. But I think Taylor Wine has been so consistent over this year that I think that it's we could see a big game from Taylor Wine.
Okay. So Zachary said Bama exposes OU's weaknesses in the secondary. Oklahoma's got the number 22 overall pass defense in the country. You guys have a better pass defense according to the stats, but it's not like they're trash. It's not like they're trash. And
go back to that Tennessee game. Chris Mason said it these past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
You gave up one bum ass touchdown. Probably should have never gotten the ball back. We should have never threw that on that RPO play. But on top of that, if you just wrap up on a couple of those plays, you're off the field.
And they never should have gotten their first drive going. They should have punted 3 and out.
Yeah.
The Guillory PI was ridiculous. So, we'll see. We'll see. But again, Tennessee scored 17 meaningful points in 57 minutes of football.
No doubt.
We gave up. It's where sometimes you look at yards and you over focus on yards, right? You always over focus on yardage as a metric, right? And the Tennessee Alabama game is a classic example. They basically had equivalent yardage, but Bama won. Bama won by a considerable margin, but they had the same yards, guys. So yardage isn't always the biggest telltale thing you are. Like you think Tennessee.
Scoring defense is the what you have to really look at more than
anything. Exactly. Tennessee had all these passing yards. Well, 110
of them. Yards, you got to go with yards per play.
Yeah, Tennessee got nearly 100 of them in their 2 garbage drives in the fourth quarter. So what does that mean?
I think the main thing is, like you said, with our Mason not going to be in, you're going to need to make sure that you continue to get pressure, and I think you will. I think that.
Yeah, I think our interior tackle.
Taylor Wine did that. Yeah. Would it surprise you if Danny Okoye went off? No. And even look,
MJJ. I wouldn't surprise me if any.
MJJ's been good, and Kendall Daniels is liable to come out and have a huge game in this one. I almost picked him on this one, but.
And our tackles, their guards aren't quick. They're big, but they're not quick.
Their guards have been a liability, and their right tackle's been a real liability lately.
So they've got some questions, and they're facing the best. I don't think it's hyperbole to say no one on LSU's front 4 is starting for OU.
Oh.
That cornerback, whatever his name is, could start for us. But other than that, I don't think they have a whole lot. They don't have a bunch of defenders who start for OU.
Perkins or Harold Perkins wouldn't start at Oklahoma.
Where does he start?
Well, he's a linebacker though, right?
Yeah. Is he? If he'd been at OU since a freshman, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying the LSU front 4. How often can you say that the LSU front 4 does not have a guy who could start at OU? And it's just the truth. They don't have guys like we have. They don't.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I have on the offensive MVP side. I've got X Rob. You guys both have Mateer. I think Mateer could have a huge game, but I think it's going to come down to X Rob having a monster game. In the last two games, he had a 43-yard touchdown to seal the game with 148 left. Or no, it wasn't a touchdown run, but it was a 43-yard run. It could have been a touchdown if he doesn't stop at the one. Then the week before that, off 9 carries, he had 109 yards, a 65-yard touchdown, averaging 12.1 yards per run. Last season he had 18 rushes for 107 yards and had 2 touchdowns against Alabama as well. I think that this is a big game for him to come out again, and I think that if Mateer's going to have a big day, you're going to have a big day from him. So that's why I've got him picked.
Yeah, I think Mateer has over 300 yards total offense.
Okay,
and that's an OU. That's where OU is.
Okay. Yeah. I think it's a lot to ask Zach for them to all of a sudden just come out and put up a bunch of yards and points on the best defense in the country. I think it is. When Tennessee didn't do it and they've got a better offense.
It's going to be interesting seeing what, just on our side of the ball, it's going to be interesting to see what Keontez Lewis is going to be able to bring. Hopefully, if he's all right and everything, he's able to help Mateer kind of get back to a couple more, give them some more, give them the ability to have a couple more explosive plays and be able to pick up, a lot of those possessions and stuff like that. That's what's going to be key. Can we get that? Because obviously I feel like we know what we can get from Satania and Keontez Lewis. It just depends on who's going to be a third guy. Is it Burks or is it Gibson? Or hell, is it Jermichael Carter? So it's just got to come from somewhere else where we have 3 consistent receivers on the field at all times.
All right. LSU had played their best game in like 5 weeks after firing Brian Kelly. What is it?
They benched Zachary. They benched Nussmeier.
They played so good they benched their quarterback.
What the hell are you talking about? What drugs are you on that you thought LSU played their best game?
And I think that it was lackluster because they were never really in danger. You know what I mean? I don't think they were ever in danger, but I thought that, they controlled the game the whole way. But yeah, LSU is not good. It's not good. I get it. They played up for their playing for their new coach. They're ass though. Yeah, they're ass. There you go, Josie. Yeah, they're ass. Come on.
I mean,
that's not who you're playing. That's not who you're playing this week. That's not who you're playing this week. I'll tell you that.
I mean, LSU's lawyers might be first rate, but right. LSU's O-line isn't.
They better be because they're gonna. It's so stupid all that's going on. Don't get me started on that. All right, I've got 34-27. I'm predicting Oklahoma to win. I think this is another game you're gonna have to get in the 30s to do it. I just think you're gonna have to, but maybe you don't. But I think you will. Chris.
26-17. I think we go in there. I think we ended on some field goals and put it out of reach. I think our defense gets the job done, and I think that we make enough plays on the offensive end to go in there and get the win. Chris Mason?
I think we have a great game on Saturday. OU puts up points. Bama plays their best. Our defense just misses making some plays. We make a critical turnover that gives Alabama 7 points, and we just can't make up the difference, and that's why we lose. But we play a much better game than against Ole Miss. We come out of that game disappointed, but knowing we played our ass off in Tuscaloosa and just came short. I predicted that preseason. I'm sticking with it. Well, I'm sticking with that prediction.
Yeah, and with me, I have a hard time really with this because I hadn't been predicting a win for Oklahoma in this, and I think that you got your back to the wall trying to get into the playoff. This is kind of a hopeful pick, but I feel like this is going to be – it could go either way in this game. I think it's going to be, like I said, who comes out and doesn't turn the football over.
And
But I'm not picking against. I'm not going to pick against my team though.
I picked against OU in the Tennessee game, so I'm following that same mojo.
Hey, listen. Hey, I don't blame you. I don't blame you there. That'll work for me. That
So
definitely works for me. I understand that.
So.
Hey, fine with me. I get it.
I mean, I think OU's going to play a really good football. It's not going to be the frustration we had coming out of the Ole Miss game. It's going to be a different. We're just going to feel differently about it, for lack of a better description.
Okay. Oklahoma can't run against our D line unless y'all hold all game. Everybody runs against you guys. Zach, what are you talking about, bro?
Yeah.
Everybody runs against you guys.
Statistically speaking, you don't have a good run defense.
I mean, listen, man, I'd love to at least give me something that I can listen to because that one, it's not making sense. You got to make sense.
It's like,
all right.
So
he said the Turkey Day parties have started. Jive Turkey. I love that. I love Jive Turkey. That's hilarious. That's good stuff. All right. Let's go with okay. So now we'll just move on to our picks for the week.
Yep.
We've got obviously the MyBookie pick 5. Get up to $1,000 in welcome bonus through MyBookie by using our link hofmedia.us/MyBookie1000. We're gonna pick our 5. Well, let's go through last week's pick 5. Mr. Mason kind of running away with this thing at this point. I mean,
I covered Iowa.
You did. This isn't the right thing.
Yeah, it's right.
It's not the right one. It's the wrong one.
Well, it's last week's. Yeah.
Okay.
But
had Iowa. Yeah. I just screwed it up. It's just red.
All right. You know.
Relax. Shit. All right.
I'm winning.
We know you won. Taco Tech got you there, and then the Iowa game got you there. Yep. There you go.
Yeah.
At that 6.5. Yeah. Mississippi State.
Yeah. Well, it cost me that one.
Nice call. That's why
it's called gambling.
Hey, listen, man. We BYU. We believing in BYU hurt us last week. So let's take a look at this week's. Obviously, let's see. Here we go. All righty. Pitt and Notre Dame, 12.5. I feel like is just too much. I mean, I think Notre Dame's going to win the game. I don't think they're going to win by 12.5. Although, I got to thinking about it, and I almost feel like you should pick Notre Dame. The last 2 games they've had, it's exactly what Narduzzi was talking about when he said 110-10. That's the number it's been in the last 2 games that they played against each other. That period, end of story. That's why he's talking about it's not a must win, and he brought up the 110-10. What the fuck? And by the way, who does that? No, I'm switching this to Notre Dame right now. They're covering. You guys can stick.
I'm switching it in the official spreadsheet too for you. All right.
Yeah, switch it right now. Switch it right now.
I just did.
All right, I'm switching. Yeah, I don't. Anybody who you don't even you're telling your team that through the media. No, I can't go with that. Can't go with that. Go ahead. You guys got anything to say about that game?
This is one of those times where I'm probably not picking who should win, but who I want to win.
I got it. Yeah. Same with you, Chris?
Yep.
Okay. That's all you got after what Coach was saying? I was setting you up, man.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Hey, Coach, let me tell you something. You said some very hurtful things, Coach. And let me tell you something. I thought we were friends. I thought we were better than that. That's sick. That's disgusting. Go Pitt. All right. I don't even know what Pitt's mascot is, but shout out to our guy.
They are Panthers.
Oh yeah. There you go. Yeah. I hope they bite the hell out of y'all. I hope they get y'all by 20. I hope they dog y'all. I don't want Notre Dame in the college football playoff anymore. I'm done. I don't want them anymore.
You want leprechaun chunks and panther stool, right?
No, I want to put them home early so they can wonder, is Marcus Freeman going to go to the NFL or go take another job or not that he thinks is better than the Notre Dame job right now. You don't deserve to be in the playoffs. Thank you. That's all I got to say.
All right.
See me, Coach. If you want to, we can have the smoke. We're supposed to be better than that.
Came back at him. Hey, I had to give you your opportunity there, and I knew you would take it. I knew you would take it. Beware. All right. Iowa at USC. We all got Iowa. I think USC, this is just the type of game that they will screw up. I think they lose it outright, to be quite honest with you. I certainly don't think that they cover 6.5, even at home. And guess what? It's going to be rainy. It's going to be raining there. So apparently they're bringing the weather with them from Iowa. So Texas at Georgia. We all got Georgia. Is it are you guys have them winning big, or do you have them just? I mean, obviously they're just covering. What are you thinking? What are your thoughts on this game overall? We got to talk a little shit about it. Come on.
2 touchdowns. That's all I got to say.
2 TDs.
Something like 27-13, something like that.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Probably right.
Georgia pulls away in the fourth quarter. I mean, that's what Kirby does.
No doubt. No, and there's no thought about Arch Manning having a good game or anything since he had a big one.
He's been playing good ball. I'll give Arch Manning that. He's been playing good ball these past couple of weeks. It is what it is. I just think that
it's all about the D lines he's playing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so he's going up against Georgia. It's a better defense, bigger environment. He's been playing at home, right? And so he's been playing better. So this is a bad matchup. He doesn't play well on the road, and Kirby stomps Texas. He can't beat Bama. He stomps Texas. Until that trend line changes, I'm going with it.
All right. Satterfield has Georgia by 11.
I can see that.
Yeah, me too.
Good call, Satterfield.
That means Texas would be well, not necessarily out of the playoff race. Oklahoma's going to have to win to get in for sure. But I think at 9-3, Texas could still possibly get in.
It depends, else you'd have to get 6 SEC teams in, and there's a path for doing that. But if you're Texas is in both needs Vandy to lose and need Vandy to win. It's an odd combo.
Right. Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, listen, I think that and no matter what though, if they lose this game, they're going to have to beat A&M. I don't know that they can. I mean, they should be able. I mean, they always do generally, especially in Austin. But I don't know. There's something different about this A&M team. There's something different. They're playing a lot better defense as the season goes on. I don't know if I still can trust them, but
yeah, well, their O-line. We could talk about that matchup down the road, but UT has generally relied on feasting on O-lines that struggle, right?
Yeah.
And against A&M, they're not going to get that matchup.
They're not getting that. No, they're not. All right. Here we go. Virginia at Duke. I don't know why you put this game in there.
Well, what other freaking game is there, Jason?
There's other games than that, man. Come on, Virginia at Duke.
Well, it's a key game.
I guess it is a key game
for the playoff. I mean, and it's one of those teams is actually ranked, and the other one is leading their conference.
Okay.
Because while Duke has
no
4 losses,
yeah.
Well, Duke only has 1 loss in conference.
That's it. Hey, you know what? What if they were to win the conference championship, the ACC could get shut out of the fucking playoff.
There is a bizarre way that could happen. I mean, just pure carnage elsewhere in the ACC. Yeah, it could happen.
Wild.
It could happen. It could be. Yeah, it could be wild. You could have JMU in instead of Duke. The Dukes.
That'd be another G5 would have to get in front of them.
Kirk Cignetti's former school.
Yes, I know.
JMU. But so the reason I picked Duke here. Okay, Chris, I'm not sure Chandler Morris is going to be cleared to play.
Oh, I didn't know that because I was about to tell y'all. I was waiting on Jason to ask me why I had Dill. I was going to say 2 words, 1 name, Chandler Morris.
He got rocked.
He did. He got rocked last week. I was watching the game. He got rocked, and then they got beat.
And they couldn't do a damn thing.
They couldn't even move the ball. They couldn't even move the ball at all without him in the game.
Yeah. So if he's,
I'm going with Duke. I'm going
with Duke until I know he's healthy. So, but yeah, that was there. And the more ACC chaos, the better for OU in case we can't take care of business in Tuscaloosa, right? We need the ACC to just blow up and in every direction possible.
Great, right?
And you know,
Well,
and then
they're already predicting, but they're signaling that the SEC is going to get 5 schools in. So,
yeah,
but
I think that's
I'll say what I said on Monday or on Tuesday with the coach. I'll say what I said again. If it's 9-3, so you got to still hope that Texas does not get to 9-3, that they end up at 8-4, because if they're 9-3, Oklahoma's not getting in.
well, they'll have a win over Georgia or A&M. They'll have a better sadly they'll have a better
and they'll have a win over you head to head.
A head-to-head win and a better win. They'll have a better win than OU. So I don't know that you have any arguments. So go Dogs, go Pigs, and sadly go Aggies. I feel dirty even saying that.
Yeah. No doubt. No doubt. All right. Anything else to add on that? Or are we back to
it? Let's go ahead and wrap it up, man. I'm ready to get to football, man. We ain't talked about it enough. I think we've given you guys that plenty enough on what we think. I think OU is successful this weekend. I think they get the job done, and I think we're here talking about yet another big performance by these guys on Saturday or whatever. Jason, you're going to the game, right?
Yes, sir. I'll be there.
There you go.
Are we gonna do then Sunday? I think I'm gonna be with I'll be with Smook after the game. So I mean, we should be able to do it from there. But if y'all want to hop on or whatever, we can do it from there.
And Smook, I just want to say to you, man, we got a lot of love and a lot of respect for you. You came in here talking reckless. Jason, you may have to check him real quick. Check his temperature, check his jaw real quick just to see what's going on.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying? So that's how you gonna tell what type of time it is. See what his jaw talking about a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
So are we gonna do a recap post game?
I'm way outnumbered over here, K. Chris. You gonna come in and do it for me? Shit. Shut up.
All right,
you want to do Sunday morning then? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, are we doing Sunday morning or are we doing post game afterwards? Sounds like it's gonna be tough for you, Jason.
Let's aim for Sunday, but if we could do it Saturday, then that'd be perfectly fine.
All right, we're gonna play it by ear. So, folks, keep an eye on on Twitter. I'll post something about it on Twitter. If you're following any one of us on Twitter, you'll get a notice there. If you're not following us on Twitter, follow us on Twitter. We'll post an update there, and we'll post and to let you know if we're going to do a recap. I get a sense if we win, we're going to find some way to talk shit Saturday night.
Okay. Yeah, we will.
If we lose, we're probably going to wait until Sunday morning to vent. But if we're winning, I'm guessing we're talking shit Saturday night.
Yeah.
One way. Well, somewhere, some platform, some way. At least Chris, maybe if Jason's out getting himself in trouble, Chris and I will jump on somewhere and knock it out. So
I mean, like I said, I've got the Starlink and everything, so we should be able to do it from there, from where I'm at.
Well, we'll keep you guys informed. But
we can hop on. It's all good.
But let's stop talking. Let's start hitting.
All righty. Well, hey, man, I appreciate everybody coming in. Guys, make sure you go over, hit the like button, and subscribe to all 3 channels if you're not already a subscriber. Make sure you like all 3 channels. We appreciate that. Hey, keep us going, man. Look, man, nowadays we need all the likes. We need all the subs. Look it up. We're putting out this content for you, and it's costing money to do it. So help us out so we can get a little bit of that back. All right, guys. Appreciate everybody coming in. We will see you all on the next one.